What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of She Collects Cards. If you have been liking some of the videos that I've been producing, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like and comment on this video. Statistics have shown that 70% of you are not subscribed to my channel, which it's okay if you don't feel like there's value to it. But if you do and you have watched more than one video of my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. In today's video, I'm actually going to talk about something a little bit bigger and broader than just sports cards, and that's actually about money. And I want to address this topic of why money is not always the end game. I'm going to talk about how I approach money, and it may be something that you don't agree with, but hear me out a little bit. So I hear, all too often, of people who are so leveraged, whether it's buying a house or, buying a car, but you'd be surprised how much leverage people are when they buy sports cards and other alternative assets. So cases that I've heard, which are very unfortunate, is people will take out money, with their house, as a collateral, or their car, or any other sort of, valuable asset. They'll get the money from the bank or the lender, and they'll use that money to buy sports cards. Now, when the market was going strong and it didn't seem like it was going to stop, maybe some people made a lot of money, but I do think that that's a very small fraction of the entire population. And I do know of some people who are struggling, financially because of that, in my opinion, poor decision that they have made. And so I just want to kind of talk about this topic of money. Why some people are so obsessed with it, and maybe give my perspective from the diverse range of experiences that I personally have had with some of my closest friends and family, seeing them go through that wide spectrum of wealth, and kind of give you my perspective on how I approach money and what I think about it. But for those of you who are pursuing money because of that luxurious lifestyle or whatnot, let me just go through some examples that may surprise you, or maybe you've never heard of. That could be some kind of a light bulb. So, you think that eating, chips with caviar is going to be like great and all, but really, like the wealth difference there is like you either eat chips with ranch or chips with caviar. Yeah, like chips with caviar taste better, obviously, because psychologically too how much those caviars cost. But there's no way you can eat chips with caviar every single day. It gets disgusting. You can't do that. And sometimes you do miss that chips and ranch life too. And so what I'm pointing out with that there is, it's really a difference of what condiments are you putting onto your food to, are you sacrificing your time because you're chasing wealth and therefore you're always eating out? Or do you make time to cook for yourself, that's more healthy, and that you enjoy to, there's so many different examples in that kind of luxurious life. Like first class sounds amazing, but when first class is literally the only, experience that you've had, maybe like over a few years, you can never go back, and that lifestyle is something that you have to sustain. And to downgrade from first class to economy or business, that feeling, I guarantee you is worse than not being able to ride first class because you don't have the money for it. That margin of luxury, going from business class to a first class, or an economy to a business, I think that margin is really high, like in terms of your wealth that needs to be behind it, to kind of enjoy that without worrying about, hey, I just spent 10K on just the airfare. And so that's actually very overrated in my opinion, and I'm a very big minimalist, and so I try to also minimalize the luxury life as well, because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't need that big room in first class, or I don't need a big king size bed at a hotel. And so why kind of have this empty space that's sort of wasted that you don't need? So that's just my perspective on that luxury life that a lot of people try to pursue. And from what I've heard and partially experienced, luxury also, if you experience it too much, it becomes a normal part of life and you find yourself actually trying to pursue something even more luxurious, so on and so forth, and you can really never be happy long term. So that's the first example that I have. Second example, I know a lot of people think that having a nice big mansion houses is going to make them super happy, and therefore in order to get that house they need to make a lot of money, whether it's hustle work or career or whatever it is. But let me tell you, when that maintenance fee on that house sums up to 20k 30k per month just to supply water, electricity, heat into the house, it does hurt a bit. And as like your primary residence, the people who are going to benefit the most from your swimming pool, your tennis courts, your basketball courts, it's probably actually not going to be you and your family, but it's going to be your visitors, and whether it's relatives or friends that come over who are going to enjoy those amenities quite a bit, but you're going to probably not going to use it every day, but you're paying for it every day. And so let's say you grow your wealth to a point where you can afford those mansions and whatnot, and you purchase one, you'll have that high probably for about 6 months, maybe to a year. Post it on all your social media, show it off, your friends come visit and are wowed by the house. But soon enough, you'll find that there's somebody on the block with a bigger house and better amenities and whatnot. So that also will not last a lifetime. It'll be temporal satisfaction that's not going to sustain your happiness overall. And third, and I think this is the most important aspect of being rich, being that 1% or above, is people. And when I say people, is it actually makes it really hard for you to start to trust people when you are at a certain level of wealth, because you're not sure if these new people that come into your life are coming to you truly because they want to get to know you and they like you, or because they like what you have, such as money, house, car, etc. And so, even knowledge too. I think sometimes I feel like people come to you because they want to learn from you and take your knowledge, which some people like myself, I'm totally cool with that, but some may feel like they're kind of being used for their experience and wealth of knowledge. So yeah, relationships is going to be something really, really hard once you reach a certain level. And so my kind of perspective on that is cherish those relationships that you have now, whether it was from grade school, high school, college, or working environment, where you really found those genuine people who care about you regardless of your status symbol in the community or how much wealth you have. And quite frankly, I don't think it's anyone's business of how much wealth you have accumulated or how much wealth you don't have accumulated. But yeah, so I think the most important thing about money that I want to stress is there are things that you can't buy with money, and I'll address that in a bit in the video. So I just want to clarify here in this video that I'm not saying that accumulating wealth and you trying to grow your portfolio and assets is a bad thing, but there are 100% things in life that you cannot buy with money that perhaps give you the most joy and satisfaction in your life. And some of those things you probably already know. Number one, health. Dental work and those things you can buy with money, I guess, but like truly life or death situation, you can't buy life. So the founder and CEO of Samsung, he started from scratch, and he was on his deathbed after a long, months of battling with, his health issues. He wrote a letter, and it's still TBD if he actually wrote it or if somebody else kind of wrote down his notes. But it really, spoke a lot of truth in that he was saying, if I needed food, I would get a chef to cook delicious food for me. If I needed to go somewhere, you can get someone else to drive for you. If you need someone to run a business for you, you can hire a CEO. But when you're sick, when you're truly sick, you can't get someone else to be sick on your behalf. But truly, health is something that he has overlooked in his life, and he was encouraging the young people of Korea and the world to really focus on health as well as your career, your ambitions, and etc. So health for sure cannot be bought with money. We're not there yet, certainly, where you can buy life. So that's one thing that can really take a turn and bring everything else down, right? Like, let's say you have a lot of growth coming in your business, but once your health declines, who is that all going to go to? Like, are you going to be able to accomplish all those things that you had planned in your mind? Probably not. Second thing that you cannot buy with money is relationships. Like I just talked about earlier in the video, try going to a place and flocking hundreds of dollars of bills and say, hey, come be my friend. Oh yeah, absolutely, there will be people that will flock to that and be your friend until you run out of money. And that sense of genuineness and that trust that you have between people, like, that's just totally thrown out the door. So I think true, genuine, authentic relationships cannot be bought with money. And so if you have a good relationship in your life that you really value and you cherish, I say, make sure that that's a priority over, money, whether that's by, working 80 hours versus 100 hours to cherish that relationship, or whether that's, not moving forward to building a fifth, franchise for your business because you want to spend time with, your family and your friends, or if it's a season in your life right now where, someone in your family is ill and that your time with them is limited, maybe, spending some time with them and carving out time in your busy life so that you really spend those last hours and last days with them. I think those are very, very important, and also that cannot be bought with money. Last but not least, third thing that you just absolutely cannot buy with money is time. A lot of people invest in technology, or phones or anything like that that helps them sort of be more efficient. And efficient essentially comes down to making the most, maximizing out of this utility called time. And we try everything. I mean, think about all the convenience related technologies like smartphones to self-driving cars to softwares that like schedule calendars for you, to just kind of speak it versus type it, audiobooks. These are all ways that people are trying to monetize on efficiency, aka how do we maximize with the limited resource of time that we have. And so time certainly cannot be bought straight up with money. And so, if you have a great business plan, if you have a great idea to make people's life better, I say go for it now. Don't hesitate. You're really not guaranteed tomorrow. And, some of you may be on the fence of, hey, I really want to pursue this career or this, business, but, I'm so, just like the video that we, had with Raymond, where I'm so comfortable in my current job, where it is truly a golden handcuff, where you're getting paid so much in your job that you're not able to leave, even though it's miserable and you hate it so much. I mean, if you kind of shift the perspective a little bit, and if you think that you're not guaranteed tomorrow, right, which we're not, would you look back and say, hey, I did a great thing by choosing to remain in that dull kind of job because it sustained me and my family? Or would you be kind of regretting not taking a little bit more risk and doing something that makes you happy and seeing through it? And there's no really guarantee that it'll succeed, but there's also not really a guarantee that it will fail. There's obviously statistics like every 1 out of I think 13 businesses or something like that here in California fail meaning they close shop within 3 years of starting. But if you think about it like that, there's always that statistic. But for yourself, in terms of probability of success or failure, I would say it's just 50-50. It's either going to be a success or a failure. And, if you think about it from that simple perspective, I think not trying it, is going to get you on the failure side before you even get a shot at being successful. And so I would say, don't push back on things that are important to you and that you are strongly passionate about, because we're not guaranteed another hour or another day in our life. So I hope this video brought some perspective, some macro level perspective as you delve into the sports card investing / collecting space, as well as any other kind of, money generating, streamlines that you have in your life. As I always say, try to have fun with everything that you do. I think there is that value in having joy and happiness and having fun in what you do and how you spend your time. And I really hope that none of you guys take this approach of it's either this or that, or at any cost I'm going to do this kind of mentality, because I think that is a little bit more extreme. And I have seen, obviously we hear cases of where the extremists, like for example Elon Musk, he made money at one company, dumped it all into one company and had zero savings, and he was living on sofas. While that have worked out for him, I do think that's a unicorn story. And so don't feel like it's this or that. And actually in the Elon Musk example, he probably wasn't doing it for money. I don't think so. I do think that he really wanted to bring a change to the world in a dramatic fashion and in a way that hasn't been done before, more so than him gaining his own, sort of personal wealth. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave comments, below about this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.